very confident. Confidence is through the roof. I know the magnitude is extremely high, but I feel like this is my first rodeo, so I'm looking forward to thriving in that feeling, having a great camp, and giving it my very best come week one.
Danny, you already fought Triple G. How much did that fight prepare you for one like this?
Tremendously. Anytime you can go 12 rounds with a guy with an amateur background and champion, former champion, the heart and skill of Golovkin, it adds value to you. Whether that's experience or confidence, whatever the case may be, I've definitely gained from the Golovkin fight.
What did you learn from the most from that fight?
Mostly, it's kind of hard to say mostly, but like I said, just experience overall. I've gained different things, but the experience to allow me to go 12 rounds at the highest level.
And the confidence, I'm sure, too.
Absolutely, I'm into that. Yeah.
Danny, can you win a decision in Vegas, given the history?
We don't know. My job is just go in there and do what I have to do. Obviously, we want to put attention on the judges to make sure that everybody's accountable for it, like I've said in the past. Canelo is a big entity to the sport of boxing, and he has that effect. But my job, as my trainer said, is to go in there and have the mentality like you don't get paid for overtime. So if I can make sure that I have a decisive win every round, or put it in my hands and create a knockout, that's the game plan.
So Andre, as a cornerman, are you going to keep that in mind, that if you think you win a round by an inch, you want a yard? In other words, just keep going, just telling him, hey, we're kind of in Vegas. Do you keep reminding him that during the fight?
Well, of course, we're coming into this fight expecting only the best from what we do, and Danny's going to be well prepared. He's going to be...
sorry, not to cut you off. I think the bigger question is, why is that even a thing? I mean, if this is the sport of boxing, why are we even acknowledging the fact that if you don't do well, or if you win the fight, but if you don't win decisively, then you know you're not going to get the nod? Like, why is that even a thing? You know what I mean? Why can't this just be a fair sport where the best man wins the fight? I hate the fact that we kind of keep talking about the judges.
Should it be a thing, though?
It shouldn't be a thing.
But
no.
do you think it should be, given some of the scores that have been turned in high-profile fights?
Absolutely, of course, and this is my point. I get it. It should be recognized now, but it shouldn't be a thing to begin with. I mean, this should be a fair sport where the best man wins, not the best man who has the most influence on the sport.
Right. Well, I think that's the point we're making, is that the way it's very subjective. That if you win a round close, the A side, whoever that might be, might get the round. You know that there's different standards for different fighters. That's all we're pointing to. We're not actually.
I understand exactly. I'm very aware of what you're pointing to, but I just hate the fact that that even exists. But knowing that I'm going to go in the fight and try to take things into my control and win decisively, so that there's no controversy. Because even in my last fight, there was my Golovkin fight, there was a lot of controversy. Whether you thought I won or whether you thought I lost, I'm trying to make it so that there's no controversy.
Canelo's 3 fights at 160, been Chavez and then Triple G twice. He's never fought someone as tall and rangy as you, and skilled. Do you think that's going to be a hard combination for him?
Absolutely. So I've mentioned in the past that Canelo has fought guys that are bigger, he's fought guys that are faster or better boxing ability, but all of those things in one night, I don't think he's faced before. So I think he has a lot of challenges coming for him.
So you're talking about the sport being subjective. How do you fix the problem with the judges?
Take things into my own hands, right? But not only that, put spotlight on the judges and put spotlight on the actual situation, so that everybody's accountable for it. So if there is a bad decision, then there needs to be something that there needs to be some action taking place, period.
And Danny, I know that the 2 fights Canelo had the most problems with was Lara and Floyd, and they put lateral movement on him and stuff. But you said we're gonna bang when he wants to bang. But Andre, this is a question for you too: are you better off boxing from the outside more so than banging in this fight?
I think when I mentioned the quote that I said before with the bang, if you want to bang, that's just my mentality in general. And I'm so confident that I believe that I would win that exchange if we were to go toe to toe together. So that's what I meant. But yeah, we have a game plan, but I'm ready for whatever. That's what I meant.
Andre,
the only thing I have to make sure is that I reel him in, because he really wants to scope this situation out. So I have to maintain control and make sure that Danny understands you can win this fight many ways. He wants to be exciting. He wants to give the fans all that they've come to see and their money's worth. And he can do that easily. but I just want to make sure that he does it safely.
Danny,
Is
now
part
that
of that?
you spent-
Is part of that also when you talk about your bang when is that there's going to be moments in the fight where you really want to leave an imprint,
Yeah.
even you don't
Absolutely.
want to just win the round, but
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. I want to leave every round to where there says, or to where either the fans or the judges say he did something spectacular or something big, whether it was a highlight that we can go to or whether it was a combination, whatever it is. I want to be able to do that every round, opposed to just going to the game plan, using my lateral movement, boxing, the things that I know I can win with.
So now that you've spent a bunch of time with Canelo on the road, Mexico, New York, what's your take on him as a person?
He's a great guy. Take nothing away from him. He's extremely humble, nice guy. Have great conversations every time I'm with him. His team are very respectful. This has been a great press tour for me, great experience for me. Nothing bad to say about the guy whatsoever. I'm just looking forward to what he has to offer me for it.
What does he have to bring in the ring? What does he have to offer in the ring?
We have yet to see. Only time will tell.
What do you see in him? Andre, what do you see in his style?
He's consistent. He's a really good counter puncher. Takes a good shot. And those are all the traits he's going to have to definitely have to deal with Danny on May 4th. And that's not going to be enough.
Daniel, with him being in 2 close fights with Triple G and you obviously being in a closely contested fight, are you using the promotional tour to also call attention to the bad scorecards where if you for somehow
100%, yes.
fall victim to this,
100%. It's not, and I mean, I know Canelo alluded to me saying me making excuses, but it's really not making excuses. It's bringing attention to an issue. If it's not an issue, then tell me it's not an issue, and I won't go forward. But we know through the history of boxing and through the history of Canelo's career, it has been an issue. So for me bringing attention to it, it is not me complaining, because I truly in my heart feel like I could beat Canelo.